Hi everybody, it's Kat, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make your own DIY picture frame. So I have this one and it just says I heart the BGC, and around it I just have this plaid pattern. So I'm going to show you how to draw the plaid pattern because a lot of people make it usually really simple and it doesn't have like the cool 3D effect. And for this picture frame, I drew something in it, which you can do as well, or you can actually glue or tape down any of your own pictures. I know that I like to do that sometimes. So if you have any laying around at home, you can make your own picture frame and you can give it as a gift because Mother's Day is coming up, or there's still birthdays during this time and it's hard to go out and buy gifts. But all you're gonna need today is some scissors, 2 different markers, make sure they're pretty different colors, and then a sheet of paper. So to start off, what we're gonna do is grab your sheet of paper, fold one corner down until it lines up with your edge completely. So just like this. And then you have this little rectangle left over. And what you're going to want to do is cut that off because we want a square sheet of paper. So you're going to cut that excess piece of paper off. And what you can do with it later is use it for another project if you want. Or you can always recycle it. Alright, open your sheet of paper up until it's a square. And then what you're going to do is, if you have a ruler, you can use the ruler. I don't have a ruler, so I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to cut about 1 inch in on each corner, both directions. So I'm just going to be cutting off like a little square. And I'm going to do it on each corner until I have this little shape. I'll show you guys in a second. And it's okay if it's not perfect because it'll look fine either way. And you can always fix it if you don't like how it turned out. So yeah, then you have this little shape. And what you're gonna do is, you can use your little piece of paper here if you don't want to get marker on the table. But then you're just going to draw lines going diagonally in one of your colors on these little flaps. And make sure you're leaving some space in between. So they're just going to look like that. And then grab your other color and fill in the spaces where you don't have lines. So you're going to be alternating between colors basically. And so it's going to look just like that. And you're going to make sure you do this on each side. Just make sure you're drawing your lines diagonally. And so I'm going to go in with my pink color first and just do my lines. And you can make them as small or as thick as you want. It'll just change the way that your plaid looks at the end. But your plaid's going to look super cool because a lot of people just do plaid and they don't realize that they have to do 2 colors that alternate, so it doesn't have the cool 3D effect. So I'm just filling in these spots that don't have lines in them. But you're going to want to make sure that you do leave white, the white of the paper, or whatever color of paper you're using. Don't just fill it all in if you are doing thicker lines. Okay, so now that I have my whole paper like this diagonally, I'm going to grab one of my colors again, and I'm going to draw lines diagonally in the opposite way. So it's going to go the other direction. And so right now this is what this looks like. I'm just going to go all around in the same color diagonally in the opposite direction that I did the first time. And as you can tell, mine is looking really good and I'm not being super precise about it either. But if you want to be, it'll still look super cool and it might look even better. So yeah, if you have a ruler or even just a piece of paper that you want to use as a ruler at home, that'll be good. I'm just eyeballing it because that's what I usually like to do. And then I'm going to go in with my other color, so I'm going to use the pink now. And again, in that same opposite direction, I'm going to fill in those spaces. So I'm going diagonally. And I'm still making sure I leave white. So that one's complete plaid, as you can see. And it's just this really cool pattern. And I'm just going to make sure I do it to each side. And you can do these on any project too, because plaid is just a good pattern to do on a lot of paper. So now I have my plaid complete, and you can tell that I left the center blank because this is where I want to draw my picture. And I'm actually going to draw my picture right now. So if you are going to draw a picture, you're going to want to do it right now. But if you want to tape it in, you can wait till the end. Once you have your plaid done, just like so, you're going to make sure that you turn it over if you're going to draw your own picture. And I can see my plaid through the other side. So I'm just going to make sure that my picture is drawn on the part that has no plaid and is completely blank. And I'm going to do the same message that I did on the example that I showed you guys. So I'm just going to write I heart the BGC. And I like to do different fonts because I think it adds just some uniqueness to your project. If you want to do this, you can always look up fonts on the internet. That's just what I did, and I just think that it makes it look super cool. So the next step you're going to do is you're going to grab one of the same markers that you were using, put it on the edge of one of those flaps that you had, and you're going to use it to roll your paper over. And you're just going to roll it and hold it and just sort of press your paper in place. And if you have glue, you can always use it. I know hot glue or super glue would work better. If you have just like Elmer's glue, you're gonna have to hold it down more. But usually I don't use the glue. I just kind of roll it and press it down. And then it just, that's one side completed. And you can just see the plaid. And you're gonna grab your marker and do that with each side. So you're just gonna roll with it. And what I like to do, since my marker is a little thicker, is just take it out once I've started it. But if you have a pencil at home, that would work a lot better. And like I said, if you want your sides to stay firm, you can always just hot glue it a little bit underneath to have it stay, or super glue. And if you want to just use like Elmer's glue at home, you can do that, but you're gonna have to hold it in place a little longer. And so I've done these a few times, which is why it's a little easier. But the first time you do it, you might get a little frustrated, and that's okay. Just make sure you're pressing it down, but not too hard, or else it's gonna flatten your paper. So right now I'm just pressing it up to kind of bend the top a little bit, but not so much that it's like a triangle. And I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. And like I said, I usually take my marker out, but if you have a pencil, you can keep it in the whole time since it's thinner. And you don't need a pencil if you don't want to do that. That's just fine. You can always just do it with your hands. But like I said, be careful that you're not flattening it so much. And some parts you might have to hold down again to get it to stay down. Because like I said, I'm not using glue. But sometimes it is easier when you do use glue. And so there's my little picture frame, and it's just completed. And like I said, Mother's Day is coming up, so you can always write your mom a cute little note or glue down a picture with your mom. You can also just use this to hang up in your room as decoration. I know that when I was younger, I loved to decorate my room with my own little projects. And you can give this as a birthday gift or really anything, because you made it, so it's just a little more special. So yeah. Make sure you guys send in your pictures if you guys do this project. I'd love to see how you guys use this picture frame. See ya.